sesi Coffee Talk pada hari ini. Kita buka dulu sesi kita dengan tasbih kifarah. Surah Allahu Akbar dengan Al-Fatihah.
Al-Fatihah.
Okey, pertama sekali saya ingin ucapkan terima kasih dan selamat datang kepada Profesor PS Dr. Ali bin Selamat ke sesi Coffee Talk santai-santai kita di Faculty Informatics dan Computeran UNIZA, which kita buat setiap 2 minggu sekali lah, where kita share knowledge tentang research masing-masing between our research groups. Dan pada minggu ini adalah giliran research group saya, iaitu Computer Vision and Knowledge Management. Jadi saya dan ahli grup saya amat bersah hatilah Prof Sudi join kita punya session pada pagi ni. Dan bersama kita juga kita ada Timbalan Dekan Penyelidikan dan Inovasi Profesor Madya Dr. Engku Fazli, ya, dan juga semua pensyarah, dan ada juga pelajar postgraduate yang sedang melanjutkan pelajaran di FIK turut bersama kita pada pagi ini. Saya bacakan dululah sedikit biodata Prof, ya. Prof Ali ni actually lecturer saya semasa saya ambil degree lah di Universiti Teknologi Malaysia Skudai. Okey, jadi beliau menerima BSc in IT from Teesside University UK dan mendapat master degree in Distributed Multimedia Interactive System from Lancaster University UK pada tahun 1998. Seterusnya Prof melanjutkan pelajaran PhD dan menerima Dr. Engineering from Osaka Prefecture University, Japan in 2003. Okay. Prof Ali is currently Dean of Malaysia-Japan International Institute of Technology, MJIIT. Before that, he was a Chief Information Officer, CIO, and a Director of Communication and Information Technology Director, UTM. Beliau juga merupakan visiting professor di Kuwait University and few other universities in Japan, Saudi Arabia, and also in Indonesia. And currently he is a visiting professor at macam mana nak sebut Prof, Radek Kralov University, Czech Republic, and juga di Kagoshima Institute of Technology, Japan. Dan beliau memang research interest beliau adalah dalam data analytics, digital transformation, knowledge management in higher education, key performance indicators, cloud-based software engineering, software agents, information retrieval, pattern recognition, genetic algorithm, neural networks, and soft computing. Jadi dengan pengalaman Prof yang besar dan banyak appointed di many universities, so we hope that Prof can share your experience, knowledge with us this morning. Tanpa saya buang masa lagi, saya menjemput Prof Ali lah. Dipersilakan Prof. Thank you.
Okey, bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Terima kasih Dr. Azim, ya, dan semua warga FIT, ya, UNIZA, ya, for inviting me untuk share sedikit lah, ya, berkaitan dengan topik of our coffee talk. Saya dimaklumkan sembang-sembang santai je untuk program pada pagi ni. Jadi saya pun tak adalah prepare some kind of heavy slides, ya. Just sharing a bit of on the research, ya, that we have been working on for some years, ya. Dan juga dalam bidang yang berkaitan lah, ya. Okay, dan saya ingat a bit at the introduction of myself tadi Dr. Azim dah share Okay, mungkin saya boleh sharekan slide saya. Kejap ya. Mana ni? Right. Ini on the mungkin on the research part kot yang saya boleh sharekan sebab hari ni kita tentang research kan. Ini dashboard penama UTM ya. Jadi ini data semua dekat sini. Okay, grant ni semua maklumat ada dekat sini lah tentang research publication, supervision. Citation saya pun tak berapa tinggi lah, baru 3,500 lebih. Dr. Azim, do I have to share in English atau in Malay eh?
Mana-mana Prof, it's okay. Malay pun tak apa.
Okay, alright. So I try to mix between Malay and English. Okay, total student dalam 74, 74. And this ada total lah. So total around 59 lah, the total of I think master and PhD student, yeah. And then these are the latest publication lah. You want to check these are the research funding and international funding and things like that lah, basically. And then I think you may see that this is the sharing that I have. Today I would like to share a bit on the Malaysia National AI Roadmap. Yeah, ni pesan pelan hala tujuh negara. I think this is something very interesting if those of you wish to know further. Yeah. Okay. This is the just a dashboard on the related areas of the research. Yeah, and then well, I move back to my slide on the where is it? Stop sharing and I go back to the slide related to the talk today. Yeah. All right. I'm going to share on the so-called AI roadmap and where actually is heading to and those areas that we are working on. Yeah. And then this is what we call it the activities that we have been working so far in developing a Malaysian AI roadmap. Hopefully that this roadmap will be something that is very useful to the nation because this is actually the comparison on what Malaysia is still looking for or lacking for and what the other countries in the world actually moving forward towards this direction and becoming like the new economic growth areas, yeah, in this regard, yeah. And of course, this is very much important areas, yeah. And a bit part of myself, I think Dr. Azim already shared about the involvement of myself in the industries, in the internationalization, and then within the research publication and in vast areas of experience for the past, I think around 23 years with UTM. I think, yeah, Azim, when you were a student, I think at that time I was a tutor of UTM, yeah, quite many years back, yeah. But
Ya, lama dah Prof.
lama dah kan. But now many of my students are already moving up and they become associate professors and some actually heading towards professors and in industry. So I think that's quite a great achievement to see that the alumni is growing and expanding the horizon of the knowledge that they acquired while they are studying at the UTM. Okay, the about UTM, I think everyone is already know. Just to share with you, this is UTM, JB, and UTM KL. Yeah, this is a very wide campus, and presently I'm at UTM Kuala Lumpur and at MJIT. So you see that the building here, this is MJIT UTM. Yeah, somewhere here. So it's in the center. Yeah. And this is academic global partners connection that we have, yeah, UTM and others. And I think this is quite just fact and figures to share to everyone, yeah. And recognition, well, people are talking that his ranking is important or is something costly. Or nowadays, people are talking about the balance between teaching and learning and research and how actually translating research into teaching and learning. And people are questioning about the the workload of teaching and learning, and the focusing on what is the impact of the university in terms of teaching and learning, part of the research. I think, well, that's to balance up the needs from teaching and learning and research, I think is very important for us. And I would say that in UTM we had 7P, yeah, 7P, yeah, penyelidikan, perundingan, perkhidmatan masyarakat, perundingan, ya, penyelidikan, ya, dan I think a few more. I think these are the 7P that is being shared in UTM, but nevertheless, I think we have to make ourselves, because nowadays, if you are not having a publication or having a research funding or research grant, then you may not be able to be seen publicly as an academia. So that's just very challenging part nowadays. Yeah, people are questioning the credibility of academia. Where are you? What are you doing? And things like that. Yeah, and these are the things that we at the academia prescribe to develop our credibility in our areas of expertise, so that we can share to the nation what is the impact that we are working on, and these are the values that we are actually embarking uh, in establishing those kind of activities. Yeah. And I've been informed that I think Dr. Azim, your research group are required or being tasked to so-called organize the talk this time, yeah. And I think the so-called um, sharing of the knowledge is very important, and of course how actually the researchers can build up their what they call as world visibility in terms of research and in terms of academia and things like that. Yeah. All right. So a bit part of MJIT, I would say that at present, we at MJIT, UTM, is an institution that we developed for the past 10 years. Yeah. And we have a lot of facilities in terms of research. If you have the opportunity, please come visit us at MJIT, UTM Kuala Lumpur. And we have connected only this faculty. MJIT is one of the faculty in UTM. We have 30 Japanese partner universities. Yeah. And we are connected with many other universities as well, and very much working towards the internationalization, but focusing very much on Japanese research activity. We engage with the industry. We have the monozukuri, and then we have the industry panel and course supervision and things like that. Yeah, and we have the Japanese Language Culture Center. We preparing also students to work in Japan. Yeah, so we have the on-job interviews, and I think this is also something very important. And recently we developed, we call it a Malaysia University Consulting UNISA is also one of the members. Yeah. So we connect on these matters related to research activities, and I think student work life after graduation also something that's very important. So we develop this kind of activities, and we develop the collaboration with industries at the small about 70 industries involved with us, and you are as a research group. I would say that my what you call as a suggestion is that um, maybe I think the motivation, because this is coffee talk, yeah. I think what can be the most important thing that you can look at is how to bring your research group and elevate it with industry, and becoming a focal point of industry lab at UNISA under the faculty, for instance. So I think this is something that you as the team at the faculty to work on together. And I would share with you, this is the example of how we work together. We developed the incubator lab. This is because I think MJIT is not just focusing on IT. We are focusing very much on multidiscipline. Yeah. We are developing the MOU, MOA, and translating this MOU, MOA into so-called industry laboratory, and eventually we'll bring a lot of so-called research funding, and of course showing the impact to the communities as a whole. So I think this is what we actually working on, and you could emulate from us, and therefore you'll be able to engage and connect with many what we call it international players, and to show the valuable quality of education that you provided in terms of teaching and learning and research. Yeah, a bit of the AI roadmap. I think this is quite interesting areas that we have been working on. Yeah, and of course, let me show you the website. If I could share with you, let me stop the sharing on this. Stop the sharing. I'm sharing the website, I think, for the AI roadmap. Yeah. If you want to know further detail, this is the yeah AI roadmap that we actually developed the town hall, and I think you can check. This is the AI roadmap information that we have, and we developed this plan Hala Tuju Kerjasatan Buatan Negara, and this is the AI roadmap that we developed, the roadmap for the nation, and whereby we have a lot of information that you can look at this. Say if you want to apply for what do you call it, so now TRGS, FRGS, things like that, you can map this into this AI roadmap as well. And this is very important, whereby I think you are from the Faculty of IT, you are very much working on augmented reality, you are working very much on AI, cloud computing, and others, yeah. And these are actually the strategy alignment that we developed, yeah, because I'm actually one of the team members in this group, yeah, developing this framework. And then to minimize the application, there are many policies, but specifically on AI is not there, yeah. And then how actually is aligned with the Singapore, Korea, Japan, China, and Malaysia is actually something that we have to come up from our clouds today. And I think this is the overviews of it, yeah. And this is adoption of AI in Malaysia from Microsoft, yeah. So we are actually behind Asia Pacific in terms of data and investment. So these are the thing, and the challenges is, I think these are the challenges being overseen by us, yeah. And of course, I think by definition, yeah, AI is actually defined by intelligence, yeah, and adapt to the new circumstances, and typically describe with a back or over, including reasoning, interacting, things like that. And of course, it's a subfield of machine learning and natural language processing and vision. I think this is the things that important. And for this focus of AI roadmap in Malaysia, that we're focusing very much on, we call it collective intelligence, responsible use of AI, augmented reality, and things like that. And you can see that this is the vision. Yeah. What is AI for Malaysia? Strategic mission and vision. Yeah. So this can be a research topic by yourself. Yeah. If you are in the areas of this research, yeah, looking at areas like inclusive AI education, AI awareness, accelerating AI adoption, implementing national use cases, and things like that. Yeah. And strategy, there are many strategies that we put in place, enhancing AI governance, yeah, whereby we establishing the coordination, AI, CIU, and this other the areas that we are working on, and institutionalizing of the digital platform and things like that. And I'm especially involved in these areas of advancing AI and proposing a numbers of use cases for the government to look at. Yeah. And these are the things that we are like prioritizing funding, institutionalizing AI within AI Research Institute, encouraging AI adoption for our AI R&D, and many others. Yeah. And of course, I think enculturation of AI. I think this is a topic by itself that you can look at. And then fostering AI talent, reskilling. So how many people actually getting what you call as skill on AI very much, and of course retaining AI talent. So I think that's very important, and offering comprehensive and inclusive AI education. and I think accelerating of the AI. So we're focusing very much on cultivating awareness and accelerating AI adoption. Yeah. And of course, these are the areas very much important, and more importantly, as I show to you, that we should also look at enhancing quadruple helix and global collaboration. So this is what I'm actually working on at MJIIT. So it's translating this activity, connecting with the industry, developing the MEU. I will share with you later on how many labs that we already developed, yeah, and how many companies actually embarking on the funding towards our laboratory, and moving towards how many more that we are interested to expand. Yeah. So I think that's the we are showing that the translating the enhancing quadruple helix and global collaboration is very much important, and we are embarking on this journey. And I hope that if you wish to work together with us, you are welcome to use our facilities at MJITs, our latest machineries, our technologies, IoT lab, AI lab, and others. Yeah, and then from there, probably you can start to connect with others, Japanese companies and Japanese industries and Japanese researchers. Yeah. Okay, so this is the fourth part. I think, as you can see, there are many part here. You can stop me at any point in time if you have any question. Yeah, and this is the team. Yeah, the team members is Prof Rose, Dr. Zaha, yeah, Dr. Salwani, and I think we have from uh, Mr. Amir Razlan. This is from Silicon Valley. We have from Prince Sultan University Saudi, and we have I think others as well. Yeah, and of course, I think this is the. I'm not sure whether we have detail or not, but we don't put the detail here. Yeah. So we don't put the participant detail, but these are the areas that you can look at on the topic related to this. Yeah, and if you want to know further, this is from Rose, and I think uh, current state of the art AI Malaysia. Yeah, it is from the map survey, and then these are the few projects that we have. Yeah, and of course, very much interesting areas of sharing that we have. Yeah, right. And of course, we have this. I think my part I did on the advancing AI roadmap. So this is from my talk. Yeah.
Oh, tak dengar sound dia apa.
Ya, tak dengar.
Oh, tak dengar ya? Okay, tak apa. Saya stop je. Okay, right. I think mungkin saya tak connect je sound ni dekat dalam ni. Tak apa. I think you could connect directly to this AI map session. Yeah, and you can listen more on the talks. Yeah, on this. Okay, sorry about that. I think we need to connect this with the I think webback, yeah, but I didn't make a connection of it. Okay. Anyhow, so all the information are here, yeah. So you can check. But I would like to share later on. I will, because our intention is to make this AI as a living document, and we want to update it from time to time. So from now, we already handed over this AI roadmap to the Ministry of Science, Technology, and Innovation. Yeah. So this is the part that we are working on. I have some details. I'm going to share with you the slides. Yeah. Just wait. Stop sharing. Where is the slide?
Boleh tanya sikit Prof
Ya, silakan. Boleh.
So if I understand correctly, so this AI roadmap was developed by your research team for the
Uh,
MOSTI. Oh,
yes,
under
betul.
Kementerian Sains lah maknanya.
Betul, betul.
So the roadmap is actually for MOSTI ataupun for everybody. I mean, di mana kami kita sebagai UA ni boleh fit in dalam roadmap? Sebab nampak macam di level yelah level kementerian sikit kan untuk buat dasar dalam negara. So kita nak fit in kat mana dalam roadmap ni, Prof?
Okey, terima kasih soalan tu sangat penting soalan tu ya. Sebenarnya kalau just untuk sharing di sini the report dan juga the finding tu dalam bentuk dokumen tu kita panggil dokumen Hala 7 Roadmap Malaysia sebenarnya telah kita sampaikan kepada MOSTI dan dia menunggu masa untuk the launching saja sebenarnya ya, seperti dasar blockchain negara ya, dasar IoT negara ya, dan sebenarnya saya ingat dia tunggu masa untuk dia launching ya. Cumanya saya ingat yang menjadi dia akan tally dengan kita panggil National Development Plan on R&D ya. Jadi apa yang kita telah buat ni, kita telah sampaikan tentang apa keperluan ya untuk kita laksanakan bagi Malaysia dan bagaimana dianya boleh dijadikan ataupun digunakan sebagai one of the policy lah untuk negara ya. Jadi untuk bila dia launching tu saya tak ada tarikh lah. Jadi maklumat ni kita pun tak share publicly, tetapi apa yang ada dalam AI map tadi tu boleh tengok ya. Dekat situ ada dan semua orang boleh nampak lah tentang apa yang kita laksanakan ya, untuk kita bergerak terus lah ya. Dan saya ingat itu perkara yang saya ingin sharekan kepada semua tentang AI roadmap ya. Dan mungkin saya boleh menjawab dulu soalan tu dan saya teruskan dulu saya punya slide ni, nanti saya boleh update lagi selepas tu. Boleh
Okay, Prof.
Okay.
Okay, boleh.
Alright. So I think my part is I develop this kind of educational AI and then solution problem. I think semua orang mungkin dah faham lah tentang AI with AI penama research dan sebagainya ni ya, because you're from the Faculty of IT and AI is change the world. I think this is quite important areas that is in demand. And okay, saya just skip this one. I think sebenarnya apa yang kita lihat, jadi sebenarnya kita melihat kepada, kalau dekat sini kita ada global landscape ya. Jadi government AI readiness ini dikeluarkan oleh Oxford. Jadi kita benchmark negara-negara di dunia ni apa sebenarnya mereka laksanakan untuk AI dan Malaysia ni kat mana? Apa yang diperlukan oleh Malaysia untuk bergerak ke depan ya. Jadi kita buat benchmark dengan World Economic Forum dan sebagainya ya. Jadi ini adalah global development. Jadi walaupun kita kata COVID is destructive, but our knowledge that we develop will be able to generate the next economic growth of the nation. Are we realize it or we don't realize it? This is a question in hand lah. Yeah? And that's why kalau sekarang ni orang sebut macam lab to market dan sebagainya, innovation is the key of the growth. So how to translate this? Yeah, at for instance like higher education for instance kan. So I think this is the thing that we have to look at together lah as a nation ya. Dan juga these are the countries that are developing. Even Indonesia, kalau yang kita dengar yang baru ni, Indonesia pun dia panggil apa? Ibu negaranya adalah Nusantara. Dan ibu negara yang baru ni dia mesra alam, semua orang akan pergi naik basikal, dia mengurangkan carbon emission, ya, lebih green dan sebagainya, ya. Dan mereka sebenarnya mengadaptasikan kecerdasan buatan ini juga di dalam mengimplementasikan new city Nusantara yang dibangunkan di tengah-tengah kepulauan Borneo, ya. Jadi global landscape ni, ini yang menarik sebenarnya kalau kita lihat apa yang dibuat oleh Singapura. Singapura menjadikan AI sebagai acceleration growth for the companies, ya. Dan Korea menjadikan AI survival competitive R&D, ya. Kita buat, tetapi sampai mana, ya? Itu soalan-soalan yang yang kita lihat where does it start sebenarnya kan. Dan as a university pula, we develop courses sebagainya kan. How we translate those courses into dipanggil sustainable and uh, uh, conducive living environment. So this is the challenge yang kita perlu fikirkan bersama lah. Kalau China ni memang made in China, AI dijadikan sebagai made in China project ataupun made in China product. Sebab kita tengok apa saja yang China laksanakan sekarang semua based on that. Japan dia ada on the AI development sebagainya, implementing on the applied AI, tetapi still in term of kita kata competitiveness, now China is overtaking Japan in a way. So these are the issue. And Japan now they are investing very much. They have spending huge investment for AI, and of course this is for the new economic growth to counter China. And of course Belgium. I think this is kita kata European nation lah. Semua memang ada AI. So state of I think application AI in Malaysia, this is what we have lah. Cloud computing, multi-camera. I think it's quite normal. This is part of our study lah daripada Port IR tu. Kita lihat the application that we develop that is already there, big data and AI. Tetapi how actually those thing is really increasing, like macam kita sekarang ni menghadapi masalah kenaikan harga makanan kan. How AI being used in farm, tanam padi gunakan AI contohnya kan. So those are the thing that not yet fully implemented, and it costs us a lot. Now kita lihat food security becoming something very challenging, and of course the technology we could provide indigenously, tapi kita tak apply directly kepada kita kata on the ground per se. So that's some very challenges of it. And I think this is many others example. I think highway system and drone as a service. I think now it's drone system. Even our synopsis, our one of the sample. We have a company, a spin-off company from UTM, Synopsis. And what actually happened with this Synopsis is focusing more on the big data and in the AI. And now the CEO of this company is becoming the Chief Technology Officer for Aerodyne. If you know Aerodyne, the one that providing the drone in Cyberjaya, one of the biggest IT company, actually presently headed by our UTM alumni, and he is actually developing a spin-off company in UTM for I think more than 10 years, and now being sought as a company as a Chief Technology Officer for the world market. So we want to create more actually. We have to create more world types of companies that can penetrate world market. And we need to have more example. So this is the role of our research, our education, and nurturing future talent for the world, not for only Malaysia. So try to look at in a more bigger picture and how to connect this and work it together. So I think data AI is quite common. Fintech is also one of it. Now you see that touch and go is expanding now. RFID, my RFID is becoming like it or you don't like it. People actually, these are becoming a trend now. No longer smart tech, but RFID is in place and it's becoming everywhere. And it's bundled together with the finance. It's not my RFID itself, but now we are selling also top up. Top up through your Boost or Food Panda or Shopee or others. So it's a new emerging ways of how these things are actually connecting together. So this is very interesting. What you call as development, and are we playing the same what you call as game with them, or we are embarking on this journey together with them, as because these are the technologies coming from the lab. yeah, and you are actually exploring this and developing this. So this is a question that in place that probably you can look at as well, yeah. And Iskandar Malaysia also they have the smart living and things like that. Yeah, smart manufacturing, smart farming. Okay, so I just skip this one. Yeah, so this back to AI roadmap. Yeah, so actually this is the things related to the AI and the policy kerangka kerjaan AI, and these are the strategy is everywhere already in place. The issues is how to make us much better than the others, and the nation cannot move if we are not moving together, yeah, politically, economically, and R&D is actually translating it into world market. So I think these are the important element that we can look at as well, yeah. And of course, this is a Malaysia, yeah, and I think other countries is also do the same. Where is Malaysia? As I think the question just now is only at the ministry level, but the ministry need to embark it at the people level, because the industries need to adopt this kind of policy, because we need to look at other countries, our neighboring countries, Singapore, they already have, yeah, and this is actually how they derive the new ways of investment coming in. And that's also the very reason why big companies that moving out from China moving to Indonesia. Yeah. So you can see that many big companies from China, American companies, they are moving to Indonesia. So there are some kind of challenges that our country is facing, but nevertheless, I just would like to share with you, those countries are actually in needs for more talents. Yeah, more talents that are capable to adopt the demand from the world market. Yeah. All right. So this is actually where actually we map, I think, the process. Yeah, we develop this and we need to have this AI innovation ecosystem. Yeah, and this is from the National AI Framework. This is developed by I think at one time it was developed by MDEC. Yeah. Uh, then I think this is the framework, but it's not been made publicly, yeah, because it's just internal document. But I would say that this is the mapping between the innovation, and then we need to have this. I think these are the areas that you can look at on education, healthcare, government, AI, R&D, and mapping towards the MIST, yeah, Malaysian Science Technology, and I think this is from Academic Science Malaysia. Okay, one of the things is. These are the areas that you can look at is AI in personal education, smart agriculture, yeah, and then of course AI validity and AI ethics, yeah, and of course those are the areas that we can look at, yeah, and as you can see that now they have this woman in AI, TensorFlow, our user group participating global events, yeah, and of course these are the areas of we can see that the validity of AI, yeah, and AI Society Malaysia, yeah, and these are the organization that is in place. Women in AI, yeah, so women are very actively engaged in AI as well, yeah. All right, I think this is the areas that we're working on, but I think uh, apart from this, let me share with you just as I said just now about the ecosystem, because we were talking about lab and the what you call as impact of the lab. Yeah, let me share with you something. Yeah, about the lab. Okay. This is the case study that we developed at uh, uh, MJIIT. So we developed the example of a lab. Yeah. So these are the companies that we engage, and so far this is the industry. We call it industry lab at MJIT UTM, and this is mostly on a Japanese company. So we bring the company setting up the lab, And eventually what they do is they are creating the so-called startup company from this lab. Yeah. So this from the Takasago, Nurse Bioventure, Kansu Robotic. So this is the one of the big company that develop on like Shopee. Yeah. So they have the logistic support of Shopee in Japan. Yeah. And then we have the Panasonic, Romwaco. I think Romwaco is also one of the big company. Yeah. They set up the laboratory and the Litech laboratory. Yeah. And of course, it's bring this uh, budget coming in. I think this is one of the example. Yeah. Contract research coming in. Yeah. From Impact, from Mitsubishi, from iHeart Corporation, NSK. Yeah. And then Hitachi, Riken, Nippon Koei, yeah, Daiichi Kagaku, yeah, Kansai Paint, yeah, and Kansai Paint Asia Pacific. So this is one of the typical example that we develop based from so-called collaboration with the industry, yeah, and whereby the lab is actually created, yeah, to support the needs from the industry, yeah, and then afterwards that we uh, we develop this kind of collaboration, yeah, and at the end of the day, what we do is that they will employ our graduate, and then they create spin-off company, and then that company will be able to what they call as going to the market and employing more uh, student and of course our graduate. So this is the ecosystem or the example that we have been working on, and of course uh, very much important areas of collaboration that we have established, and of course this is the interesting part of the research that we have been working on, and of course, uh, well, I think very important is that how do we connect the research and in industries and bring back to us, and when I'm moving back to the AI roadmap just now, it's about the same how you connect with the AI companies and bring it as our innovation, our laboratory, and towards the end, how it can generate another form of a spin-off and going back to the market in its way. So I think that's from my sharing. Perhaps if there are any question afterwards, yeah, please.
Okay, terima kasih Prof. Kita bukalah kepada sahabat-sahabat fakulti jika ada nak tanya apa-apa, silakan. Senyap je ni. Prof, saya ada nak tanya yang pasal lab yang Prof tunjuk di MJIIT tadi tu. Okay. Is it open for us? Inilah macam kalau kita ada research ke nak buat yang untuk kita guna facilities tu.
Boleh. I think kita memang the purpose of the lab that we have is open to be used. That's why kita ada dipanggil Malaysia University Consortium, dan kebanyakan alat-alat yang kita guna ni sebenarnya kos alat tu sendiri dalam 240 juta ringgit Malaysia. Dan alat-alat yang kita ada lebih kurang 8,500 alat. Ya, dan memang alat-alat ni memang kita buka untuk digunakan bukan hanya untuk MJIT, untuk UTM, tapi untuk others IPTA yang berminat nak guna, you can come and then we can actually have this kind of collaboration to make use of these facilities, even to connect to the Japanese, yeah. Especially macam you all mungkin nak cari research funding daripada Japanese companies ataupun others. That's another potential that we can work on lah, basically. Yeah.
Jadi macam MJIIT ni is like boleh membantulah juga IPTA ya untuk kita do international collaboration or national collaboration.
Ya, betul. Kalau saya nak sharekan dekat sini, dekat Malaysia ada 1,500 Japanese company. Kita pun tak larat nak pergi jumpa dengan 1,500 dia companies ni. Kita dapat 100 yang connect dengan kita pun dah cukup baik. Kalau semua IPTA dapat 100, you already strong enough already. Kan? Itulah kita kena synergy lah kalau kita seorang-seorang. That's why kita promoting this kind of initiative together. Kan? And then you can get benefit because not everything that we can cover. Bidang-bidang yang diperlukan tu. Macam I share with you. Our student, kita buat job fair ataupun career fair dipanggil dengan Japanese company. Ada 30 hingga 40 company. Every year kita buat. Ya. Dan kekosongan saya dalam 300 hingga 400 kekosongan. Kita hanya mampu mengumpul lebih kurang 50 saja. 50 hingga 100 yang boleh fit kepada demand. Ya. Of this job yang di-offer oleh Japanese company. Of course lah, dia bukannya you can just go and you get the job. Tak, they are having screening, they are looking at your capacity, capability to adopt with their working culture dan sebagainya. So these are the processes involved, yeah. And this is what they actually nurturing at MJIT apart from technical skill, soft skill, and of course Japanese skill. Kalau dia ada Japanese language capability tu, biasanya dia akan dapat allowance extra dalam. Kalau dia top Japanese language ability tu, around 1,000 to 1,500 extra allowance.
Kena belajar Jepun lah lepas ni.
Definitely lah kan. And then this company actually offering them to work and the salary is higher. Then kalau kita buat satu joint program dengan Japanese company ni, whereby they are especially recruiting for more IT talent. This is probably a avenue that we can work on. Yeah. And then the basic salary is about $1,000 US, and they are going to work in Japanese company in Japan or in other region, basically. Yeah. So these are the areas that we can work together because they need a talent. They need good talent. Yeah? And we have good talent. But sometimes our talent is just mingling around. They are not globally connected, and they expect that to get a good job with less effort lah, kan? So that's the thing that we are trying to share, that there are abundance of opportunity that we can work on, yeah. Together as a nation, not as kata-kata MJIT ke UTM by ourselves. No, we are not keeping ourselves. So we are opening up to the others that you can get a benefit and those benefit if you want to repeat back this connection with 30 Japanese universities. It took us 20 years. Yeah. So why you have to start yourself and be yourself to do it, because I think you reinvent the wheel. It takes you another 20 years for you to come to the stage that we are working as what we are today. Kan? So MJIT is established by the government of Malaysia for the people of Malaysia. So it's not inclusive for certain parties only. So we want to promote this. That's why I'm emphasizing very much. Of course, AI roadmap and things like. But I think what it needs is ecosystem. Your research group should be established, should be expanded to become a research center. So you need to have this kind of vision. How many research center you are going to establish, and how this center will be becoming a center for the industry. In those sense that you are actually getting very much connected to them and providing solution to them from time to time. So if those things are not yet in place, then many things need to be done. And I think it's not only with us, but I think this is the ecosystem that we have to establish, yeah, to make it what you call as attractive and what you call as I think for Japanese normally they are valuing a trust as a number one before we start to do any kind of collaboration. So I think that's that we can help you and we can facilitate this kind of process as well.
Okay.
Prof,
Yes.
MJIIT dia base dekat Skudai ke dekat KL Prof? KL?
Kita base dekat UTM KL.
Okey. Yalah, aku tak pernah tengok bangunan tu dekat KL tu.
Mainlah datang. Kalau nak datang kita boleh tunjuk, kita boleh buat visit ya. Facilities yang kita ada.
Nanti kena adjust tu Azim, kena pergi visit sekali tu.
Boleh. Looking forward ya, Prof. Saya lama dah nak pergi MJIIT tu. Nak pergi melawat lah kan.
Boleh silakan.
Dapat collaborate dengan dapat collaborate dengan satu company Jepun pun dah cukup lah. Daripada 1,500 tu satu cukup lah.
Betul. Jadi kita ada researcher kita dan memang kalau berminat bolehlah saya boleh connectkan, kita ada some kind of discussion what to do next dan sebagainya kan on this kind of initiative.
Prof, back kepada AI roadmap ni Prof. Kami nak ucap tahniah lah kepada Prof dan tim kena come up dengan satu roadmap yang bagi saya sangat komprehensif kan untuk make sure negara menuju ke arah IR 4.0 kan dengan membawa AI sebagai satu agenda. Tapi nak tanya Prof punya pendapat personally lah dari segi kita Malaysia sendiri ni, government kita lah terutamanya sebab tengok pada strategi yang dicadangkan ni memang government lah yang kena drive ni kan. Kita penumpang aja. So government Malaysia sekarang ni dia orang betul-betul ready ke untuk gunakan AI sebagai way forward. Ready satu hal, satu lagi dari segi komitmen. Adakah government memang betul-betul committed, yakin bahawa this is the way of the future ataupun dia orang nampak macam just follow the trend je?
Interesting question. Terima kasih Dr. Fazli. I think from my observation, from our analysis and our finding, we found out that if the government is wishing to have more FDI coming in, definitely they have to prepare this. And this is the bottom line, new investment, new kind of innovation has to be in place before this investment coming in. Because macam fintech dan sebagainya pun dia applying on AI. Yeah? And of course, we are actually having a lack of talent on AI sebenarnya. Kalau ikut statistik kita memang tak cukup the talent yang kita nak provide. Kalau Dr. Fazli tengok UK AI, diletakkan directly di bawah Prime Minister Office because they anticipate AI is the next economy of growth. And how actually China is becoming leaders in economic and other technologies because they are actually embarking AI at a very early stage. And even kita kata teknologi 5G dan sebagainya, tapi the underlying background is semua AI. So what is the matters now is to have more AI talent. More AI talent that can create more innovative solution that actually supporting the needs for the nation. So I think the question is government ikut trend ke tidak ikut trend ke? Definitely macam Iskandar Malaysia kan, dia want to expand and attract more talent to come to Iskandar Malaysia. And the demand now is AI because the drone technology without AI you cannot work for that. Similarly macam ECR dan sebagainya. So it's like the currency for today is AI. And because of kita ada isu dari segi kita kata implementation dan sebagainya. Tetapi saya nampak government is aware of it. It's only about the time when they want to announce it. So are we ready? Bila dia announce kita dah terlambat lah sepatutnya kan. Jadi kita kena prepare early so that when they announce it we are already in place for that. I hope that I answer your question, Dr. Fazli.
Ya. Okay, Prof. Sebab kalau industri kita memang tahu lah kan. Industri memang ready untuk AI lah. Dia orang semua sedang mencari lah kan AI ni. So, kita menunggu our government lah. Tapi kalau kata UK letak di bawah Prime Minister tu, kita nampak lah kan, sebab nak move AI ni kalau mesti seorang diri tak mampu ni. Dia melibatkan talent, dia melibatkan facility dan banyak lagi kementerian lain kan. So harap mesti ada good support lah untuk bawa benda ni ke depan.
Sebab tu Dr. Fazli, kita letakkan apa nama our recommendation, kita kena ada dipanggil AI CIU, AI Implementation Unit. Yang ini mungkin because dia tak boleh, sebab dia sekarang ni proposal ni kita prepare for MOSTI. Kita beritahu MOSTI lah. I think this is where actually the neutral party will be participating. And macam EPU kan, dia ada implementation unit that cross the board. So it has to be in that way. It cannot be just only MOSTI. And MOSTI now is the, kata orang, they get the idea, they need to table out to the relevant cabinet lah kan, to get the buy-in, because without this the country cannot move forward. And then to bring every players to be at the same board, and then everyone is getting the fair share and understanding what is important for AI and actually who actually needs to embark for that. So our recommendation directly, because in the UK, in Singapore, those are actually under the Prime Minister office, and we just want to have it under macam kita kata mesti it just only mostly initiative lah. So it will not happen in that way.
Okay. Terima kasih banyak-banyak Prof. Tanya sekali lagi atas satu roadmap yang sangat-sangat penting untuk negara ni. Kita memang perlukan sangat pada waktu sekarang kan. Okay, terima kasih Prof.
Sama-sama.
Okey, terima kasih Dr. Fazli atas soalan tersebut. Okey, rasanya kita pun dah cukup masa dah pukul 11. Okey, terima kasih banyak ya kepada Prof Ali ya, sudi meluangkan masa dan share very important information lah about AI and the future plans for the nation. InsyaAllah lah kita boleh kita cuba, kami di FIK Uniza ni akan cubalah untuk bergerak ya, dan kita akan cuba curilah peluang yang ada yang disediakan. Okey, saya bagi pihak Fakulti Informatics dan Komputeran Uniza mengucapkan sekali lagi berbanyak-banyak terima kasih kepada Prof Ali. InsyaAllah ada ada peluang masa depan ya, Prof Ali boleh boleh share lagi ya, jika dijemput boleh luangkan masa lagi sekali lah bersama kami. Dan kami juga akan macam our TD tadi, Timbalan Dekan Penyelidikan Dr. Fazli, insyaAllah kita akan buat lawatan lah ke MJIIT jika diluluskan. Boleh TD insyaAllah. Okay.
InsyaAllah.
Okay, peluang sangat bagus ni. Okay. Alright, jadi demikian sajalah sesi Coffee Talk kita, santai-santai je pagi ni. Okay, terima kasih semua dan harap ilmu yang dikongsi oleh Prof Ali pagi ni dapat dimanfaatkan bersama. Okey, oleh itu kita akhiri sesi kita pagi ini dengan tasbih kifarah dan surah wal-as. Okay, sekian saja. Terima kasih banyak Prof. Assalamualaikum.